Medical intuition is a new emerging science. The term sounds so mysterious, really, but our energy system is designed to speak to us and to keep us healthy and to report in anything that threatens our life force, anything. And so when I talk about medical intuition, I'm talking about our natural capacity to read the energetic data that says what you're doing is bad for your health. Hi, I'm Carolyn Myss, and welcome to Sacred Power. Everybody is born with intuitive intelligence. Our body has an energy system, but so does everything else. I began my work as a medical intuitive in 1983 when I became able to sense illness in other people. What child archetype do you identify with?
Abandoned.
There we go. And at that time, I had co-founded a publishing company that was dedicated to producing books about consciousness, health, and alternative or complementary medicine. But life, as we all know, is a curious journey, and now, 35 years later, I've charted the human energy system and explored for years the many patterns of stress that underlie the development of illnesses. 99% of the time, you are listening to this intuition, responding to it, and never even notice it. But the important lesson I want to communicate to you is that you, like me, have an inner medical intuitive system working inside of you. Your intuitive intelligence is not a gift. And attuning yourself to your medical intuition requires knowledge, requires information. The more you know about your energy system, the more you'll recognize the energetic signals, the data that you receive through your gut instincts and your intuitive feelings all the time, 24/7. Your intuition is never not communicating with you. So now, what do I mean by intuition? Your intuition is your natural ability to not just sense energetic data that fills this dimension of the invisible world, but to interpret it, to understand energetic data. We always get energetic messages such as, I shouldn't eat this, or I ought to exercise, or I ought to call this person. We don't have a problem actually hearing those messages because they're not life-threatening necessarily. So basic kind of ground level intuitive hits, we don't have any problem with. But when things get a little bit more complicated, then we start jamming our circuits, especially about our health. We don't necessarily want to hear those energetic messages. And it's a funny thing about intuition. We often reduce this amazing resource to a fortune-telling device. We want it to be something that protects us from losing money or making mistakes. People go to psychics because they think that they have this capacity to see the future, or to, am I going to get this job, or am I going to win the lottery, or what's this person doing? We think that there's such a thing as a skill that can predict the future. But my role is to introduce to you the truth that this inner resource of yours is in fact a mystical skill, a mystical attribute, that your inner voice is part of your cosmic guidance system. And one of its primary purposes is the management of your health, the management of your well-being. It is your deepest inner navigating quality. And so to that extent, I'm going to teach you, introduce you to yourself as your own medical intuitive. And so for that, I'm going to need my whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to take you on an inner journey inside of yourself. And I'm going to show you what your energy anatomy system looks like. The first thing I'm going to do is show you what you look like to me. Now, you're going to be awfully glad that this is one of the few drawings you're ever going to see from me, but this is my best way to illustrate to you and give you an image, kind of a functional image of how you should understand yourself. This is you, and I'm putting you in an energy field because you do live in an energy field. And in an ideal world, you have energy coming in through the top of your body here. That's you. Now, when I do a reading on you as a medical intuitive, all the time people will say to me, oh, well, what do you see and what do you sense? And here's what's true. I don't see anything. I want you to image your living room and think about that image. Do you actually see it? And you would say no. Do you hear it? And you would say no. The world of image is its own type of perception. So when I do a reading, I receive images that are just like the ones you now have in trying to recall your living room, and they download at the speed of light. Like, the difference is that when I get your living room, I have absolutely no emotion about it. It's not my living room, it's yours. And it's very easy for me to look around your living room and see what's broken and what's not. Whereas if you look around your living room, you're emotionally attached to everything. So it's much more difficult for you to look around your living room with detachment. Now you remember that word because we're going to refer to it again. And that's how an intuitive reading works. It's just energetic data, and that's it. Now this is you. In an ideal world, you are contained in this energy field. Now, this is a graphic representation of the energy that is coursing through your body at all times. In order to become your own intuitive healer, you need to recognize this energy and notice when you are leaking energy, which is another word for power. For example, you will instantly leak power when you get news that scares you, and for most of us, we will feel it in our stomach, or you might feel it as a headache. You'll take the energy hit in your center where you are most susceptible to that issue. Fear usually hits you in the gut because bad news makes you feel vulnerable. So first, you feel it here. And then because energy centers are not Tupperware containers, energy is never contained. Your body will share that stress with every part of your body. And you'll need to think about what just happened, and that's the job of the sixth chakra. And then you'll need to execute your next move. So everything moves to the fifth chakra. Think of all of these as your working energetic laboratories. The upper part of the hourglass is your activity center where the energy will process all of your thoughts together and then determine how that will be used in your external world. And then right here in the middle, our heart center. That's where we get log jammed. The heart center is where we process our fears, our enthusiasm, our emotions, our expectations, and this includes the terror of sudden changes in our lives. Because we don't want our world to change in ways that we've not planned for, we hold back the stress that builds from not making clear and conscious choices. Up here, we negotiate. We tell ourselves stories. We tell our heart, we don't feel so bad. This isn't that stressful. And it's all because we're terrified of change and we want to try to control the speed at which our physical world changes. So the energy comes in, you look as a resource, and then imagine that it goes back to energy and into matter. So that's the science of physics. We're not going to go there. You're relieved. But in a reading, What I do is I track you. And I track what I call your anchors, which means this. All of you are in power plays with someone. Everybody has unfinished business. Everybody has some kind of thing they're attached to. Everybody has what in Buddha language is called cravings, things they crave, people's attention they crave, substances they crave, stuff, sugar, drugs, alcohol, cravings. This energy comes out and a choice directs your energy to the target that you crave, to the person you're trying to control, to something that you are holding on to that you shouldn't be holding on to anymore. And what that does is that it punctures your energy field and it attaches to something, and we call this an anchor. This could be a trauma. This could be a bad relationship you can't get over. And after a while, we accumulate these anchors. The number of anchors we have creates our relationship to time. This is a formula. Each of these anchors creates weight, okay? W-H-I-G-H-T, weight. This is all psychic weight. And I'll tell you how this works. If I said to you, here's a great job opportunity, and it's just perfect for you. If you had a lot of anchors, this is what you would do. You would think, oh, I'd love to take it, but what about this? And I don't know if I could do it because I'm attached to this, and because what would this person do? And you would go through all of your anchors, every one of them, before you said to me, I don't know if I should do that, because your anchors would come first. Because your anchors create weight in your head, psychic weight. And that equals creating weight. You have to wait longer for change to happen. Now, this is how we create time. This is the formula for how we create time, right here. Now, you've heard the word chakras. Everybody knows that word. But I want to take you inside the way I see it, the way I first took a look at it years ago. And out of that came my work on the human energy system and a body of work called energy anatomy. And so the best way for me to do this is to draw again, brace yourself. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the 7 chakras. Now, imagine that I'm taking you into yourself and I'm hitting a light and it's lighting up and you are looking at yourself and how you are wired. And these wires have been talking to you all along, but if you don't know how you work, if you don't get it, then you're going to miss these signals, because every one of the chakras, think about this, is like going into a secret garden that's an entire universe unto itself. A universe. Do you know how incredible you are? We're talking about a window into your soul. The reason why your system is talking to you is because the higher order is to keep you balanced, to always keep you balanced, to keep you in the state of health, to keep you like a perfect tree in the state of balance, because your system resonates to the law of nature. Now let's go inside. Chakra 1. Now, you're an hourglass. This is my version of an hourglass. The bottom half is your physical world. The top half is your energetic world. The bottom half deals with your relationship to your physical world, the top to your energetic world, the bottom half to your external, the top to your internal. It's so logical.